Wednesday, hump day. Good to see you. Double wave. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, we did not see any birthdays this morning. So let us know if it is your birthday. We'd love to know. And the word for today on this beautiful Wednesday is embrace. Embrace. Um, so if you look at the definition of embrace, it's like it's to welcome something with open arms. Sometimes, like Andrea, your golden doodle, you know, kicking off the morning, embracing it. Look at Leona Cagle there. She's embracing right there. Isn't animals, they make it easy to embrace, right? Sometimes it's emotional, mentally, spiritually. It's the act of leaning towards instead of pulling away. So here to me is what embrace, it can mean accepting what is, right? Accepting, embracing the fact that Mark McConnell, we don't have control of everything. Sometimes there's things, Brenda Carlton, out of our control. Isn't that? Sometimes it's embracing like, what's next for me? What's next? What's the next thing? What do I want? Right? You ever sometimes it's embracing like growth, even when it feels sketchy. Have you ever had to work through something that you don't really know the roadway? Like you're having to work through it. It's sketchy. You don't know everything, but you're having to figure it out. It's embracing the uncomfortableness of figuring out something that you feel like on the other side of it is something you want, right? And that's so one of the things that I wrote down was like wrapping your arms around the season of challenges and opportunities and saying, okay, let's get into this. Let's get muddy. Let's go after this. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. Okay? All of that is embracing. But here's why embracing matters. I think if I'm in the spirit of embracing things, it simply means like I'm not resisting. Have you ever resisted something? It is absolutely exhausting. Like you're fighting it, I remember I'm thinking about my profession and it's like, have you ever resisted calling somebody? Like I'm in sales, right? A lot of you are in sales. It's hard to be in sales and never pick up the phone. Think about it. What if we were talking to like a real estate agent in sales and they're like, I hadn't talked to anybody all year? Probably not good for selling a home. Probably not good. We would all laugh and go, well, how's that going for you? But sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what are we resisting? Because sometimes I can exhaust myself through the day and really I hadn't done anything. I've just done a day of resisting, resisting this, resisting that, resisting. And before I know it, I get to the end of the day and I'm just absolutely wore out. But I really hadn't moved anywhere. But I thought about it a lot. It's exhausting. So I say that when I'm open and I embrace it does create momentum. And Jim Rohn, which I follow and listen to a lot, he said there's about a half a dozen things that will create momentum for yourself. You don't have to wait on a company. You don't have to wait on a group of people. Like if you want to create it yourself, you got to find about a half a dozen things that make whatever you want tick, right? If you're like, I want to change my health, guess what? Get in the 90-day shred and do the half a dozen things it takes. And guess what? In 90 days, we'll all be real proud if we're doing the right half a dozen things. If I want to grow my business, I want it to get bigger and I want to build a new team, guess what? Do about a half a dozen things that it takes to do that. Do it over the course of 90 days. Come back to me and tell me what happens. You're going to create your own momentum. Have you ever thought about that? So I believe that when we shift from resisting and we move into the embracing season, we will figure it out. There's a lot in my work right now personally. It it's a figuring out moment, right? Which comes with a lot of, Andrea would say, like the it's like your brain's working, right? You're trying to figure out and navigate things. Well, that's embracing. It's not resisting. Resisting would be just like whew, out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to look at it. Embracing is like, no, we got to get in the mud. We got to get in the dirt. We got to figure this thing out. And here's the deal. We gotta we gotta come together when we think about embracing stuff and go, it's okay for everything not to be perfect. It's okay for it to not be perfect. It's okay for it to not be pretty. Like if I want to embrace more of my spiritual journey, I got to be willing to get up in it and realize that I don't have it all figured out. But that's okay. So for me, this is a huge word, Andrea, because embracing is something that I hope to do in all my phases of my life, my health journeys, my relationships, my my spiritual journey, but also my profession, like my business. Like I got to embrace moments rather than resist them. So I'll turn it to you. Good word for me today.
Well, I think this is a great word. And I got a comment, Francis. Everything in life is selling. So, yes, we share, but to get our kids to eat breakfast in the morning, we're selling them on it. To meet, get that right person to think we're the greatest partner, we're selling them on it. Like everything in life is sales. So, we just might happen to share for a living as well, but everything is sales. So, the quote that I found, sorry, I just had to go there, Francis. The quote that I found that I loved, this is Bob Goff, and he said, embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our life, in our lives won't have a title until much later. And I think about so many times in my world, and I'm going to put that in the chat because I butchered that one. I should just put them in the chat every time. But so many times in my life, I want everything. Anybody else feel this way? You want everything to fit in a box. You want to know that there's certainty. You want to know exactly what tomorrow's chapter is. But you know what? We've got to embrace that uncertainty because life is definitely creative at different times, and we can embrace it or we can fight it. But just like Coach said, we can take all this time and all this energy to fight something, and we're just spinning our wheels. So, what I looked into was what are some things that we should embrace, right? Like, I know I've got to embrace uncertainty now, but what else should I embrace in life, in leadership, in growth in order to move myself to the next level? So, first of all, I've got to embrace the season I'm in. I'm not behind. Yes, I'm 50 and I'm attempting to build a muscle, maybe somewhere in my body. And maybe I should have started this at 15 or 20 or 30 or 40, but we're starting it at 50 and I'm not behind because if I was supposed to be somewhere else, I would be somewhere else. Let's embrace this season that we're in right now. Next is I've got to embrace these imperfections. They're not flaws. They're fingerprints of my authenticity. So we all, I'm going to get a little secret. We're all a little bit imperfect. Every single one of us, as Coach likes to remind us, only one perfect person ever walked this earth, and it's none of us. Thank goodness, because that was a big responsibility, right? So I've got to realize that I am a flawed human. I have all kinds of imperfections, so I can embrace them. Doesn't mean I don't want to be a little bit better, but I can lean into my authenticity because that is who I am. Next, I've got to embrace change. And that's proof that we're alive, that we're evolving, that we're doing new things, that we're creating more for our future. Because dang, doesn't stagnant sound horrible? right? Never go to a new place, never talk to a different person, never eat a different flavor ice cream. Like, I don't know, that doesn't sound too great for our entire future. So let's go embrace some change and enjoy a little bit of these new and exciting things that happen in our world. With that, we've got to embrace the process. Those in between moments, right? Those moments that you're just kind of traveling to the next spot shape us just as much as the breakthroughs. So I might only celebrate or only get excited maybe when I'm walking the stage at a new rank, right? Hopefully everybody here that's involved in our company has had that experience. And if you haven't yet, well, we've got PXP coming up in September. So let's go do some work so we all can experience that. But I can only maybe celebrate that moment. But if I embrace the process, the phone calls, the activities, the Zooms, the fun parts between here and there, well, isn't there so much more to celebrate, so much more to embrace? Because all of that is what actually allows us to have that breakthrough. The breakthrough is never going to happen if we don't do the other stuff in between, right? Next is to embrace our story. Oh gosh, this is a fun one. Every mistake that we've made, every pivot, every victory, all of it made us who we are today. So I can try to only embrace the good stuff, right? Or I can only embrace certain things. But as Coach's mentor says, make your mess your message, right? And that might come from somebody else, but that's who I heard it say as well. Make our mess our message, because man, isn't that something powerful? Can't we bless a lot more people when we're relatable and we embrace our entire story instead of just the highlight reel that maybe we see? This one can be fun, is to embrace feedback. It's not criticism, it's direction. And if we have people that love us enough to actually be honest with us and give us feedback, isn't that powerful? Doesn't that allow us to get to the next level where if you come to me and you say, Andrea, I hate the way you, and I get all defensive and I can't actually hear you, well, guess what? I just stopped myself from growing. And no, I know that there's definitely been times my mentor that you guys all know and love, every once in a while would come to me with some feedback and I would kind of sull up in the corner. But you know what? Every time I listened, I grew. I became a little bit better. I created a little bit more. So be grateful that somebody loves you enough to give you that feedback and realize it's not criticism, it's direction, it's growth. It allows us to go create a little bit more. And with that, that aligns really well with it is embrace the people that stretch you. We all have that person or those people in our life that push us to do a little bit more, that make us get a little bit uncomfortable. Feel that, love on them, because guess what? Growth rarely happens when we're inside our comfort zone. It only happens when we get out. And it can be hard to push ourselves out. And it can be powerful when somebody else lovingly nudges us in that direction. And then I'm going to say, we're going to end with this one. We're going to say, embrace yourself, right? We're all beautifully flawed. We've already talked about that. But if you can love you right here and now, love yourself enough to grow, love yourself enough to do hard things, love yourself enough to get out of that comfort zone, but embrace yourself fully without any apology. Imagine the power that you're going to have when you walk into the room with that feeling behind you. So I love this one today, Coach. I'm embracing the word embrace on this beautiful Wednesday.
And you know what? We should all like super great. This word, we should all like be really proud of ourselves is what I'm trying to fight to get out this morning. Because we're embracing to start our day on a positive movement or a thought, right? Like that's what the coach's corner is. It's like 15 minutes of coming together, taking a word, expanding on it. And man, like I got a choice of how I start my day. I can either start it with positivity or I can start it on a downward spiral. And listen, there's a lot of days I want to start it on a downward spiral because of the thoughts in my head. So I think we should all like be proud of ourselves for embracing the start to every day, Monday through Friday. So love you guys, grateful for you, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
guys.
Awesome.
Have
Awesome.
a
Go
great
embrace
day.
God bless. Love you
somebody.
Great
guys.
Thank
day.
you.
Good
Thank you for
day.
your
Thank you.
mentorship.
Have a
Love
great
Appreciate
day.
sharing
Love
you.
you
this out
guys.
with
Thank
me.
you
Great
all.
job. Love it.
Have a great
Day
day.
out
Love
there.
you
Love you
guys. Have a
guys. Grateful
beautiful
for you.
day.